The following moments may contain explicit language.
Roger, Charlie, we're ready to rock.
Welcome to the SNLF Dugout Diaries, where today we're joined by Westfield FC chairman Jack Stapley. Now, Westfield FC, established in 1911 near Hastings, East Sussex, has a rich history of local football. Initially competing in the East Sussex League, they achieved notable successes including league and cup doubles in the 70s. The club later joined the Sussex County League, earning promotion to the higher divisions with strong performances, such as a third-place finish in Division 2 in 2006-07 season. Though promotion to Division 1 was denied due to lack of floodlights. Fast forward a couple of years, and in 2009, disaster struck when the fire of their wooden clubhouse occurred. But the club persevered with temporary facilities. Recent developments have transformed their future, including the 2022 acquisition by Premier League footballer Steve Cook, who became majority owner. In January 2024, they moved to the Knight and Davey Community Stadium, significantly improving their infrastructure. Finally, the installation of floodlights just got approval this month in December 2024, which now represents another step forward, ensuring Westfield's growth continues. Jack Stapley, welcome to the Dugout. How are you, pal?
Thank you very much. Yeah, really good. Thanks, mate. Really, really good. Been a mad day, but yeah, all good. I'm here now.
Well, with the Dugout Diaries, we like to give teams from most steps a chance to showcase where they are. I'm delighted to have you on today. But for people that don't know you, Jack, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your personal life?
Been involved in football a long time. People probably know my old man more than they know me. He was assistant manager at Hastings United when they got to the third round of the FA Cup. Involved in football in 30, 40 years. It's always been my manager as well, to be fair. So, all the way up to sort of played adult football. Started off playing at Hastings United, or started off at Spartan as a youth player. Ended up playing for Hastings United reserves. Made a couple of appearances at the first team. Went and played for Andover, which was a long slog. Driving from Hastings to Bideford to play in the Southern League was a long journey. That didn't quite work out. I was meant to go to university, didn't end up going to university, got a job, and then signed for Westfield.
So, Jack, that's obviously out of tragedy has come your badge, the Phoenix rising from the flames. The club are on a trajectory now with a clear path of how they're going to get there. You seem to have some wonderful people involved within the club, whether they be volunteers, committee, or coaches. But I want to talk about the players now. Okay?
Yep.
I'd like to talk about your first team squad there. And I think a good place to start would be one of the players I've seen called Mr. Patterson.
Yeah, Rooney.
Talk to me. Talk to me how this guy's played 16 games and already bagged 19 goals.
So there's 40 games for the club now. Goals. So he's his name's Patterson, but he's not. His name's Rooney. We call him Rooney. That's his middle name, Patterson Rooney.
Am I assuming he was named after Rooney?
Yes, I believe he's born in 2000, and I want to say 2008. So it would have been around the prime Rooney time.
Good. He's one of my favourite players.
Yeah. Then, he is
from the Solomon Island.
Oh,
Three.
right.
Yeah. So, just to give a bit of backstory on it, there's a college in Hastings called the College of Holy Child. They ran a foot academy called Stars Academy, which was run by a guy called Daryl Willard, managing in the Maltese Premier League now, I believe. A licensed coach, was assistant manager to Tony Adams at Granada, I believe, like that. Brilliant guy. But they had an agreement with the Solomon Island government, so they'd anything from to 20 kids over from the Solomon, and Rooney was one of them. We before that with Levante Johnson, who's now in the MLS for Vancouver Caps, got 5 goals on his debut for us. Had Ali Mekawa, who plays in I want to say Fiji, and also plays for the Solomon Island national team, and Ian Calloway, another one that also plays for the national team in the Solomon. So we've had a rich history of players from the Solomon
It sounds
Islands.
like you're United Nations or something like that at the moment.
Oh, it's mad, mate. At one time, I think we had about 5 or 6 different nationalities through Stars Academy, and getting on well with Daryl, so which was really good. And it's it all, I think, from what I can understand, it all went a bit pear-shaped. Rooney, Fabio and David, who all still play for the club, have ended up in the UK waiting for asylum. I believe they want to go to university, etc., etc. 3 really bright kids, 3 great kids. Like, you could, if I could, I'd take them under my wing tomorrow and put them up. They're such lovely guys. But yeah, so they're all playing for the club, and Rooney is an enigma really in front of goal.
Could he be playing a higher level, much higher level?
100%, 100%. He walked Hastings United first team. Yeah, people will look at it and go, yeah, well, it's only step 7, but the goal size the goals that he scores doesn't change. Like, he'll score a tap in from 1 yard, he'll beat the keeper to a short pass next, bang one in from 30 yards. He's once all his asylum and everything's sorted, yeah, he'll go and play a lot higher level, I would say. But he's been good. He's been loyal to us the way we've been loyal to him. I mean, he's stuck out in the middle in Gillingham at the moment, in a bed sit in Gillingham. The 3 of them probably not living the best life that they possibly can, but we try and give a little bit back to them to help them out as much as we can. Just whether that be, I don't know, Steve can get him a pair of football boots, or it's cold at the moment, an Under Armour. Do you know what I mean? It's those little things, because they haven't.
I bet they appreciate that, though.
Oh man, honestly, you could not meet 3 guys. Would if I rung them up now? Look, I'm in a real sticky situation. I need something doing. They will do anything in their will to do it, and they really are in it. And so they come across as well. They'll summer youth tournaments. They'll be refereeing. They'll be running the book, and they'll do anything. And but it just so happens that Rooney and the other 2, to an extent, the other 2 are reserves, but are more than capable of playing in our first team. But Rooney is something special, and he'll be worth a punt with someone in the future once his work permit and everything is all sorted. There's some sort of thing at the moment that he can't play for a club that either pays players or charges to get in, or something along those lines.
I was just about to say that, because otherwise you could have sneaked him on a little cheeky contract and maybe got a few
I mean, this 100%. He like I said, the amount of phone calls I've had about him, or text messages or emails, can he come? I mean, can he do this? Can he do that? At the moment, it's a no. But again, we won't stand in his way when that time comes, because the time will come. He is too good to play at the level of football he's playing at. and his record speaks for itself. Like I say, I think he's got like 59 goals in 41 or 42 appearances or something. He got 36 last year. He's already on, I can't remember what he's on now, 20 odd, maybe even more than that, 23 or something like that already this year.
Can I ask possibly an awkward question then?
Yeah.
How does he react if he's at a level, and it sounds like he's allegedly a couple of levels above?
Yeah.
How does he react playing with players that are probably not where he's at?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's one I've probably never thought about, to be honest. I think
I'm thinking of the frustration. You know what it's like.
Yeah,
You played at a
100%.
standard. Yeah, you played at a standard. I played at a standard. And when, say, sometimes you jump down to help your mate out on a Sunday, on a Sunday pub side, the frustration where players are not on your wavelength, they're not on your level. I mean, I'm assuming because you obviously speak so highly about him and he seems so committed to the club that he has a fantastic attitude.
Oh, his attitude is second to none. Yeah, that's a really it's a really interesting question, and I think that we're lucky in the fact that I think our whole squad is playing below the level that. So
Okay.
We've obviously got some real young guys that are learning their way in football, but your Sam Willits, your Charlie Cornfords, your Warren Pethig, I don't know, Corey Wheeler, all of those, they've all played county prem. They're all younger, 30 years old. So they're not. It's not like they're has-beens that are dropping down the level. They're playing for the club because I think they've seen that there's something going on here. I mean, Corey last year was playing for Bexley and playing every week in the county prem. So
right.
It's and there's a group of there are a group of mates here now. There's like it's not so much that they're playing just because their mates are playing, but they have great social there. And I don't care. Again, another thing, I don't care what anyone says. You can be the greatest team. You can have the greatest players, but if you haven't got a team that's willing to do the dirty work, that will go on and do the socials together and things like that, you're not going to succeed at this level of football. You can get away with it higher up, because there is people that dip in and out, etc. But at the level we're at, and maybe even the level above, the county one, I think to have you do need to have that social side within your team, because I genuinely think that's probably worth 10 points a season. Because if you're willing to go out for a beer with them on the Saturday night, you'll be willing to put your head in where it hurts on the Saturday afternoon. And I've always been a believer in that. I think that you can win yourself 10 points by having a good social side.
I agree with that. I'm involved with a county one side.
Yeah.
Okay. And we seem to raise our game when there was big games coming, when we're playing against teams that are levels above us, especially like when we had our Vars run. Okay.
Yeah.
And I put it down to the fact that you get a coach, you've got an away day, everyone win, lose or draw, you're having a booze on the way back on the coach.
Yeah.
The camaraderie there, you can't buy that. That has to be created from the group of players, and that's infectious.
100%.
So I agree with what you're saying there about those extra 10 points. They are willing to stick an extra tackle in. They're willing to put that head in where you could easily duck out to get the result at the end of the day.
Because it keeps all of your mates well, and like you say, it keeps that. Some players play for the social. Some players, there's no doubt about it. At this level of football, there's not enough money going around to be playing for money. Like, or maybe I don't know, but that at the level we're at, that people play. Some people are playing for social. Some people are playing to stay fit. Some people are playing because they love football, and some people are playing to be part of a project. And I don't have a problem with that. If you want to play for money, play for money. If you want to play for the social, play for social. But if you can combine all four of those, really onto something. And there's been teams in the past that have done that and maybe not been the best team or not had the best players, but end up winning leagues or doing things because of the out of football, if that makes sense, because of things that happened off the pitch.
Yeah, it does make sense, and there's nothing worse than playing for a side at your level or levels above, and the player, as soon as they've had a shower, they're off. They don't even go in the bar for a beer or a Coke or a Lucozade, whatever they're doing these days, or anything like that. Back in my day, and I suppose back in your day as well, Jack, you play on a Saturday and you'd probably be in that club for a couple of hours, 2-3 hours afterwards, having your own social with it. And that's where you're building new mates. You're building a vibe for the club. There's a community where you are. It is key. I mean, teams that don't have that, they won't be sustainable.
No, definitely not.
Not at all.
It's a rule at our home games that they can't go without, that players can't go. And it's not a rule that we don't rule with an iron fist, but we've all, if they win, they get a free beer anyway, or a free whatever they want to have, water, a Coke. It doesn't matter. They get a free drink. That's our little appreciation thing of saying thanks. But it's just having them around, and then that their mum and stay, and then all of us got 30, 40 people there that are all having a chat, and you look at your watch, and all of a sudden it's 7 o'clock. It's 2 hours ago. And you haven't even realised. But what that does for morale and what that does for the club is something that people just don't think about, and it can really, really push you on. They had a social last week. Was it last week? Week before, they had a social. 1-1-0 on Saturday. Real tough game. They had a social. Still at the club at 10 o'clock at night before they went off into town. But that's brilliant. That's great. Playing their games that they play and things like that. But that for me, there was 25 of them in the bar. That's still at
that's brilliant.
Waiting for taxis, and that's what's I did genuinely think that's what's got us through a few of them tough games. That I'm thinking back to Holland Sports being 1-0 down at half time, come back to win 4-1 because they don't want to let their mates down. Terrible. They were terrible in the first half. Awful. But second half completely turned it around. Even to a point Saturday 0-0 at half time was not a great game, but they dragged each other through, and in the end the quality shone at the end. But it's that desire and that to not let your mates down or not let the club down that's getting them through, I think.
Yeah, I like the way you've explained that, because I believe in what you're saying there. You know, that is the heartbeat of the club. Afterwards, everyone getting together, having a beer with the supporters, with the parents, with the players, coaches, and everything like that. And if you don't have that, to me, you don't have a club.
No.
You just have a team.
I totally agree. You just got a team, yeah. And also within a club, you can have 5 teams, but you can have but you've basically got a lot of clubs I go to. You've basically got 5 different clubs because they don't interact with each other. They don't interlink. They don't. We try and do it that so first and seconds train together, thirds and fourths train together, under 18s. It doesn't quite work, but they're all playing for either the thirds, fourths, firsts, or reserves. So you're trying to make it one whole club rather than 5 different teams and almost 5 clubs, because it has been that in the past, and it has been that when I've been chairman. We've had people come in and it's just been three different clubs, and you might as well not bother. Like, no one talks to each other, no one does this, but we've got people that do believe in it now, and hopefully that's wearing off on everyone.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Now I'll try to knuckle down a bit into your league. So you're in the Prem, Mid Sussex Prem, as we touched on earlier. You're basically joint top. I've already interviewed one of Tommy from Ringmer.
Yeah,
As
Tommy, I
well.
get on really well with Tommy.
Yeah,
Good guy.
really great guy, nice guy, and similar to where you've been as well. They rebrand the club, everything like that. They've got things moving forward. Who do you see though outside of that? You got Croas. You beat them.
Yeah.
You did them quite well. What are this Oxted like? Oxted and District.
Horrible. My kind of football.
Good.
I love nothing more than to play in that game.
Bit of banner.
They love it. They love it. They've got a mixture of youthful exuberance and also some players that can play. They've got a guy at the back. Forget his name now, but he is top player. Probably played I would say definitely played a decent level, if not professionally. Top player, and they've got some good, like I say, some good players, and they're another team. They seem to stick around. When we played them up there, they beat us up there 2-0. Bit of a nightmare day for us, but they stuck around. They all had a beer. They were all spinning the wheel and doing all those kind of things, and so they're. We drew twice. We drew to them twice last year. We played them Thursday night and then on the Saturday, 1-1, both 2-2 and then 1-1. Again, it derailed our kind of title hopes last year. But they're a tough cookie to beat, and anyone that finishes above them wins the league, I think, personally. Balcombe, very well run. Manager's a good guy. Always, we seem to have the upper hand on them at the moment. We've beaten them the last 4 games running. They're difficult to say. They play a 3-5-2, like I say, very organised. Got a decent centre forward, 2 decent defenders. Always good crack had with them beforehand. Not such good losers, I wouldn't say, but it's that's football. I don't mind that. I don't have any problem with that. Like, as long as everyone shakes hands and it's done after the final, so they have a problem with you losing badly. That's fine. As long as you don't act like a. You know what I mean, some people smash changing rooms up and things like that. They don't. I'm not saying they do anything like that. They just like winning, and the same as me. I probably don't take losing very well, but I'll still shake everyone's hand and get on with it.
Exactly. Show me a loser, and I'll show you it.
Yeah.
I think that ambition, that drive that you've gone about winning, I think chairmen have to have that, because if they don't, what are you following? Do you know what I mean?
Well, what's the point? That's what I always think. I found it really difficult a couple of years back when the ground was looking like it wouldn't happen, and I was managing but not managing. My dad jumped in and done the managing because he could probably see that I'd had enough, and we were like lingering around 8th, 9th. Sometimes the only 2 subs were me and my dad. My dad's 55 years old, for crying out loud. Got 1 knee, it took it's going to sound like a really weird thing, but my mum died 2 years ago, and that kind of rejuvenated me a little bit. Once I'd obviously grieved and things like that, but it gave me something to to push on with. It gave me like in that time that was really, really, really hard, and those 2 months were really hard. Obviously during COVID, etc., I couldn't go and see my mum, all those kind of things.
Wow.
It gave me something to really plough on with, and the fire came back in my belly with it. And it all kind of, like, that was a horrendous time, but COVID for the club was a lifesaver. We got grants. It's another weird thing. Obviously, all these clubs couldn't play, Hastings United, things like that, but we was allowed to play at Stepstone.
Why were you guys allowed to play then?
Because it was classed as recreational amateur. we was allowed to play. So we was getting like 250 watching us, 200, 300 watching us.
No.
I remember I think we played Settlescombe and we had like 275 people watching. We took like 1,400 quid behind the bar.
Wow.
So it was just a weird, like, we was having people from Masons United for us, and we was having, well, because obviously they weren't playing, they couldn't play, this was cancelled. So yeah, it was just like a lifesaver. It was like a bit of a godsend for the club, but then obviously led into my mum dying and everything like that, and we it brought my brother and my dad together, and me together a bit more, and my dad's the treasurer, my brother's the manager, I'm obviously the chairman, and we've just kind of ground it out. Don't get me wrong, we're not the only three that do things. My Graham Drinkwater, Ian Curry, etc. I can't speak highly enough of all those guys that give their time for nothing, because we don't pay anyone. Grant Beale, all of those, Pat McCrossan. There's so many. I can keep reeling them off, but it's it gave me that fire back to really want to push on and really want to do something with it, because I know she would have been proud of it. So that's kind of what went. That's where it's all kind of driven from the last 2 years. It's really tough when we were making no money. We had no position of the ground being done anytime soon, no chance of promotion, etc. And I almost think those clubs that do that, I take my hat off them, like your Balkans and your Oxteads and things like that have got no progression on the field. Although they can go and win the league as many times as they want, they still can't go to the next level. And so I take my hat off to them for keeping going, because I'm not sure I could keep doing that every year.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is out of a tragedy that's become a purpose for you and the rest of the family. And I really appreciate you sharing that with us, because that COVID was a tough enough time for the country.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Let alone actually the people that had lost family members, maybe not just through COVID, but in that time.
No.
And you've got the stress of, you're raising a young family. You've got your work there,
Yeah.
but you also want to build a football club for the future. So I really commend you for that. What you've done there is fantastic, and I hope they appreciate it at the club.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's like I say, it's a proper kind of club. Graham's been there 50 years. Ian Curry, 20 odd years. We've had Pat McCrossan come over from Hastings United as our general manager and operations manager. Graham Knight, all of those guys are just Melvin Young. It's just that Kevin Baker. I could keep reeling them off. All those people that have been there so long. Graham's, like I say, this next November will be Graham's 50th year involved with the club, from player to chairman to secretary to does the bar every week now, travels to the away. We're taking 20, 25 fans away from home. All right,
Wow, that's great.
They're only committee members or parents or things like that. But we go to, I don't know. We went to Crowhurst earlier in the year. Hailsham Community College, hardly the most glamorous place to go. Not even a proper football ground. No facilities for spectators. And I reckon there's probably 40 or 50 people there supporting Westfield. And that's what we've kind of built now. If I was to leave tomorrow, that's what I'd like my legacy to be, is that we've built something that people want to be involved in, and I'd hope that people would take it on further than what I can do. I mean, there's only so many hours in the day, and Stephen Graham will tell you I'm constantly bugging. I'll be 2:00 in the morning dropping them a message on WhatsApp in our WhatsApp group. Like, Steve's got a game. Steve will have a game tomorrow away at Oxford. He'll be like, the last thing I need is that idiot bloody sending me a message at 2:00 in the morning. But that's just how I am. And if I think of something, I'll pen it and put it in. Like I say, the 100 Club, probably 20, 30 people signed up since it started. 6:00 last night. Christmas raffle sold 500, 400 tickets, something like that. All those little things, every little, like I say, it's sad again, but every little helps, because it does.
It does help. And what I think people are a bit naive to with this kind of step football of where you're at is clubs don't have money.
No.
You might have an investor that puts a few bags in a year or something like that, but you've got to be sustainable. And to do that, you have to get arses through the turnstiles, and you have to get pints poured behind the bar. And then obviously got sponsorships and things like that, because the amount it costs to run a club, what would you say it would cost to run Westfield for a season?
70 grand, 80 grand.
Wow. I mean,
easily, if not more, to be honest. And that's without the floodlights and things like that.
See, I reckon that the listeners here would think it would have been a tenth of that. That's how naive I think.
That's what to be fair, Mike, that's what I thought when I first came into it. That's what I thought. But why are they asking every player to go round and get a £25 sponsorship or what? Now I'm the one doing it. I realise why, because like a 3G costs. But there's no 3Gs within the Hastings area at all. Not a full size 3G. You've got Bexhill College, which is outside of obviously the Hastings area, but that's a close one. But that's fully booked every hour of the day. We're having to travel to Eastbourne United to train for the first team, which thanks very much to them because it's been a massive plus. But it's like training. You think we've got 16, 17 teams. Training's probably £4,500 a month.
Wow.
You're paying £90 to £150 an hour, maybe even more than that in some and things like that. You've obviously got referees' fees. People forget about all that referees' fees. Referees on Saturday.
Jack, how much is referees and linos this day and age?
Mid Sussex League is £50. Obviously, it's a club lino, so we have someone that does it, but we still have to give them 30 quid a week. So still £80 before you even open the gate. So you're 80 before you even open the gate. I mean, we can have anything from we probably have 7 youth teams at home on the same day as well. So they're anything ranging from 20 quid to 35 quid. So you can be paying out nearly £1,000 in fees of a weekend sometimes. Your reserves or thirds or fourths might be at home as well. Vets and Sunday and under 18s. So yeah, like I say, you could be £500, £600, £700 down before you even open your gates. And people like I say realise that, and it's easy to, but bills all still need paying, and it's not just your electric and your water; it's all the other bits.
So let me touch on that electric there. So in the future, let's say I don't know, 12 months down the line, you get your floodlights in, everything like that. I know roughly how much they cost. Are you aware how much they would cost for a game? Because if you did go up, as you said, you would be playing Tuesdays, maybe a Wednesday game, something like that. If you get a cup game, this is extra expense.
Looking, we actually done a little bit on it on Saturday. You're probably looking at obviously referee in the league above, I think 60, and the linos are 45. So you're £100 straight away. You're probably looking at, I don't know, 30 to maybe between 25 and 40 quid for your lights, depending on how long you have them on for. Once you buy your stock and your footballs and everything else, you're probably looking at 250 quid just to host a game. I'm assuming you charge a few quid to get in. No, we don't charge anything to get in. We're completely free to get in.
You don't charge anything to get in. So you've got to take 250 quid behind that bar in profit to break even.
Yeah. So next year, if we do get promoted, if we are lucky enough to get promoted next year, I think it's like a minimum fee. You have to charge a £5 and £3. I think.
Yes, correct.
You don't really have a choice on that, and we would stick to the minimum, so make it affordable. Sorry, one.
Well, Jack, cheers for letting us know, or more importantly, letting the listeners know of what it actually costs to get a game going. As we said, I was naive to it till I got involved in football clubs. You said the same yourself. Um, just tell me now, as we wrap this up, what does the future for Westfield FC look like? And you said as well, touching on, if you left tomorrow, you've left a bit of a legacy there. You seem like you've left the club in a great place moving forward. So what is the future?
Future, obviously, promotion is would be massive for us. I mean, it's a straight shootout between us and Ringmer. As far as I'm aware, there's no one else with any sort of ground that would be capable of going up. So I think
I agree.
a straight shootout between us and Ringmer. Obviously, we beat them at home. They're on a great run themselves now. They're picking up, so it's going to go right down to the wall. We're playing each other 28th of January, I want to say. So at their place, we've not got a great record. So 3 points behind us. We got a game in hand on them. So yeah, be a real tough one there. So that's the aim for is obviously promotion. And I'd be disappointed if we didn't get promotion this, or in a position to be able to get promoted anyway, because we've worked very hard, and the guys on the pitch and coaches, etc., manager has worked really hard to get us in that position. Longer term, definitely a 3G. It's the only way to make yourself.
Well, with that 3G, as you said earlier, there's no one in your area that's really got one.
No.
So that, I know you're looking at probably 750 plus grand to get that to happen. But also there is a return on investment where you can get that pitch hired out and draw money back in.
I mean, I think it's by the third year you've probably paid it off already. So you need to have a sinking fund for 10 years to obviously replace the pitch after 10 years, which is what the thing is. Yeah, I mean, the 3G would be huge. It's definitely in. I'd like to have it in by 2027. That's the aim. Obviously, we've got the backing. It's Graham and Steve are right behind that. There's obviously some other people involved as well that would be right behind that, and plus, obviously, Football Foundation released their plan for areas not so long ago, about a week or so ago, and in the Rother it said by 2028 there's to be 2 full-size Gs, and there's £8 million worth of funds available within the Rother area. So yeah, we'd look to delve into as well.
Excellent.
But not only that, we've got very big schools doorstep. Buxwood and Claremont both got 3G facilities either. I mean, Buxwood haven't even got anywhere to play their games. They play a lot of the time either at our ground, Eastbourne Borough or Eastbourne United. Claremont have got lovely grass pitches, but nothing when the weather gets like it is at the moment. So I'm sure we'd probably get the backing of them because they'd be able to use it throughout the day.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's just building the club.
Jack, it sounds like you've got a clear plan. It sounds like it's really exciting times at the club. I'm truly, truly grateful for you coming on, giving us a fantastic insight into Westfield FC, the community, the bond, the players, and yourself. So I'd like to thank you coming on. I'd love to come down and catch a game. I'm already looking at that January the 28th and thinking, hang on, that could be the battle of the Dugout Diaries. So I think I'll pencil myself in for that. Jack, anything you'd like to say just before we head off?
I'd just like to say, obviously, it's not just me, and it's me behind the mic, but it's not just me. It is the rest of the volunteers and the rest of the people involved with the club that do make it tick over. It is people like Graham Drinkwater and Kevin Baker and Ian Curry. It's their club. It's not mine. I'm just a custodian of it that's been lucky to be able to take it over the road and get the floodlight application, etc. All things that they've been trying to push for 20, 25, 30 years. So And if there is anyone out there that's looking, drop me an email. Drop me.
Jack Stapley, thanks for coming on the show. Chairman of Westfield Football Club there. They're doing bits down there. Get in touch with him. Drop him an email at chairman@westfieldfootballclub.com if you're interested in any sponsorship, or if you're local to the area, you might fancy being a bit of a volunteer on a match day. You know how these clubs are. They need help. So get in touch with Jack, and we wish them the best of luck for the future.